never occurred to you what would happen to my future if I were to fail to live up to my responsibilities? Has it ever occurred to you?
Whether the film wasn't seen enough, isn't rated high enough, doesn't get the credit it deserves for what it did historically, personally, or at large. Many films are underappreciated. We're here to talk about 26 of them. DadMan has 15, I have 11, and I looked at it from kind of all three perspectives. So I do have a decent amount of foreign films, some English-speaking films, but that the foreign films, because there are people like DadMan who don't know how to read.
So hate stupid foreign pretentious films.
Well, we just lost half the audience.
No.
What criteria primarily did you go after?
Just ones that I may have liked that you
kind of forgot about.
Yeah.
You're like, man, that was a good film. I can't believe I literally forgot I watched that.
You're right. That's basically it. And I actually did look up because it's hard to think of something, whether it's underappreciated. How do you judge that it's underappreciated? So I did. I looked up a list and I went through them, and most of them I did not use. I maybe used 5 from a list of 100.
Yeah.
Because some of them I'm like, well, that should be underappreciated. It's not a very good movie. It's stupid. I mean,
any examples?
I'll come up with some because I'll look it up again.
Yeah, but so what I did, and I mean, a lot of you might follow me on Letterboxd, but it's a cool site because you can see how many people watched the movie, and then you can see, okay, what's the average rating? So there are 1 or 2 that I was like, hey man, I thought that was a great movie, and it's rated below that, and it shouldn't be. And I could have definitely put some more, like for example, just thrown out there, like It Follows, I thought was rated lower than it should be. I also thought that Long Legs was rated lower than it should be. But they're so well known and so mainstream and horror that it's just like, that it's tough because there's going to be some people who like specific things in horror, some people who really just aren't true horror fans, and so on and so forth. So I did not include those in my list. It's probably an even split of foreign to non-foreign, but I'm going to mention my first one, and we don't have to talk about it until you hit your list because you have more, so I kind of want you to go more so than I.
Okay.
Unless you just want to go first, just run it. Do one or two.
The Other Guys and The Departed. The Other Guys I thought was really funny. Super funny.
Yeah, The Other Guys is funny. Comedy is kind of like horror. It just gets a tough rap in ratings.
It doesn't.
The story's never going to be like the A story. You're never going to get. You're never going to get a Casablanca, but comedy.
Between those two, Will Ferrell is funny, and him and Wahlberg together worked really, really well. It was just really funny. And the dynamic between these two was, I just thought, hilarious.
I will say, not to discredit your list at all.
Well, we just started. Okay.
But The Departed has been viewed 1.7 million times on Letterboxd and is ranked, of all narrative features, just all non-documentary films or non-series, 124th all time.
Yeah, should have been in the top 100.
It's in my like top 30 all time.
Yeah. A lot of plot twists, a lot of stuff always happening. Never really any downtime.
So
different aspects.
We'll say that one's properly appreciated, but the Other Guys I will definitely grant you.
Yeah.
That one, I'm only throwing this out there too, and then I'll shut up about The Departed. It is Marky Mark's best performance, and that is The Departed. Very small role, and that speaks a lot.
Oh, he was in both those movies.
Speaks a lot about Marky Mark.
Well, he had a small role and he was good. Yeah, he played the...
And he committed a hate crime in real life. I'm not sure you knew that. Growing up in Boston.
What did he do?
I think it was a homosexual that they beat up pretty bad. I
don't know the relevancy of that, but
it's always, anytime his name gets brought up, it's my fun fact.
okay.
But the other guys, it wasn't in Will Ferrell's Golden Run, but I know for you it is.
Well, it's not just him. I mean, he's in it, but the two of them are equally funny in like different ways.
True.
There are just parts of that movie that were genius, and they're like odd and funny, you know.
It's that's a valid point. It's not the same type of humor that Will Ferrell had become a legend off of.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's very it's similar, you know, it's not like completely different.
Yeah.
I do think that there's some blurred lines of association because, you know, Will Ferrell and Marky Mark did more movies together. Daddy's Home, I think it's called, and that's like a series.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think people kind of, they're like, when they get them mixed up.
Yeah.
You associate the other guys with that too. You misremember, and you're like, it was all right.
That was okay. Granted, it wasn't, but the other guys was really good.
The beginning of the other guys is hilarious, where Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson jump off the roof. That is very funny, and it's just very irreverent humor.
Yeah.
The desk pop and Will Ferrell being a nerd, but he was a pimp before.
Yeah. Chicks can't resist them.
Yeah. And Marky Mark doing ballet so that he could make fun of.
Well, yeah, and then his wife, his ex-wife, girlfriend for Ferrell, his ex-wife's boyfriend is gay.
But he's like undercover gay or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is, I think
that's not that funny, but
I think that's technically very homosexual. What I just said.
Homophobic?
Homosexually, yes. Okay. This is one I actually do think that you would appreciate if you watched. It's called Kids, 1995. Larry Clark. The writer is pretty well renowned because he became a director in his own right. Harmony Korine. He's done some really transgressive stuff, but it's about New York City coming of age with gritty realism.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think in the 90s, I mean, I don't know, I didn't grow up in the 90s in New York, but drugs were
everywhere.
Yeah. One of the top comments that I just saw, it's Dazed and Confused. I'm sure you've watched that.
Oh, yeah.
Once. They say that this movie should be called AIDS and Confused because it does integrate the AIDS crisis into it. Yeah. Very cool. It has this, it feels like you're actually kind of watching a documentary, and there's like perverse aspects that really hook you into it. Interesting characters, even though they're like literal teenage actors, you know. So I thought it was actually a masterpiece, and everything about it just feels genuine and authentic. And also it helped to launch the careers of Chloe Sevigny, who's like, she was in American Psycho and Zodiac. And also, I'm trying to find the girl's name. But yeah, John Abrahams is in it. He's a smaller name actor, but like, for example, he was in Scary Movie. He's like the boyfriend of the main girl in Scary Movie, the parody movie.
Oh.
He's not that big an actor. I'm trying to find the chick. Rosario Dawson. Sorry. There it was.
What did
you probably seen her?
Teenager?
Yep.
Well, okay. She probably was
like pretty young then, yeah. All right, hit me with your next shot.
Event Horizon.
That is, yes, by very definition, underrated.
Yeah.
It's a movie that even I underrate. Okay, just being, but
It's what gets me is the concept, the premise of the movie of something, a ship that went beyond
yeah,
the realm
and
of
it's
our universe.
that is really cool
I mean, to
conceptually.
me, I don't know why because that always fascinates me. Like what if it just, I don't know, kept going? Like what's way out there beyond.
Yeah, well, that it's like that hell is a realm itself that's enterable
Yeah.
to the living.
Right.
Which, and I get that because so growing up, obviously you liked the movie, so you talked about it, and you start to shape what the movie is in your mind before watching it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I thought the depictions of hell would be more. You would see, because I'm like, oh,
I know
that
the
captured
little
my imagination.
Clips.
Yeah.
They're just short clips. And, you know, it's, yeah.
And that was the part that got me. I was like, that would be cool. I've always wanted to see what hell's like.
That,
Shout out Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Video game.
There's a part where they're trying to translate. They said something in Latin. We were watching, you know, the crew of the prior ship, and it was, oh God, save us. They thought they said save us, and it said save yourselves.
Oh yeah.
Like,
which
as
is
a
cool.
warning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way they did it was very dramatic. I don't know. I love that movie though, and I know most people would watch it and say, yeah, you know.
I think it's a movie that would grow on you over time. If I watched it again, I think I would like it. Good cast, obviously, and Sam Neill is very good as the bad guy.
Oh,
and I do really enjoy the visuals when they show what hell looks like.
Yeah.
so
I know they're
cool.
brief, and maybe in a way that's good, in a way you wanted to see more. But if you want to see more, it's doing what it was supposed to do.
Exactly. Yeah, because if you overshow it, it could have been like disappointing, and it's like, oh,
Right,
that's lame. Do you want to go another one in a row?
I'll go Apocalypto.
Yeah, that one is. I think that's a great movie.
It's like really unorthodox. It's about subject matter that you wouldn't, you know, like, you know, the protagonist is, you know what I'm saying? It's just not, I don't know. It's about, you know, tribes that don't exist anymore that, you know, and what they went through during this period of time. I just thought it was really cool. And then the eclipse was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
'Cause they're on the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
That was really cool. So few things. I think Mel Gibson directing that probably, like a lot of people, like I bet boycott him as a director. And if that's you, I don't think that's a smart thing to do. But you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Right. I mean, the movie is what it is. I mean, he's not in the movie, so, you know, he's not the star.
So I guess on a episode of Joe Rogan, he started the script based on the fact he wanted a movie to have a chase scene, but not like a car chase scene on foot.
Mm-hmm.
And like that is one of the main moments is they're trying to find him.
It's really good. It's a great chase scene.
It's thrilling, yeah.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that on foot is, you know, you have to be pretty talented.
Yeah.
And the Mayan civilization is really dope in my opinion.
Right.
And the sacrifices are a big part of that.
Right.
I mean, just being honest. So having that play such a big role in the movie is really cool. And it's able to kind of cross the barrier because, I mean, you don't like foreign movies, but it's in subtitles.
Yeah. True.
Which it's in Mayan language. Did you know that? I think it's authentic.
I didn't even do Mayan language.
Yeah, how to fucking Latin is dead, but we got people speaking.
Well, they're still Mayans, technically.
That is
I
Let's
would think.
take it back. That's misinformation. We'll get kicked off YouTube if you don't take it back.
Well, I mean,
We're gonna get sued now.
well, there's blood
This
flowing
is
through
not
most
legal advice.
of Central America, so some did not breed with the Spaniards. I bet. I mean, there's probably. I mean,
Do you keep
someone.
your language though?
Well, I
It
mean,
was a stupid thing I said. It was supposed to be a joke. I know people still know how to speak Latin.
Well, you threw me there for a second.
Someone said very smartly, astutely is probably the word I'm looking for. Latin isn't a language that is dead. It is rather set in stone.
Yeah,
It's just no one speaks it to one another.
they were teaching it. Some schools teach it.
Still,
Yeah.
I think it's if you want to be a doctor, I think it's probably good.
Well, I mean, like if you go to like a really preppy prep school, they might have Latin.
Oh, well. My next one is probably one that you have not heard of, but you'll know the main actor. It is called HUD. It is a modern day Western. Paul Newman is the lead, and it is a great performance by Paul Newman and should be seen purely for
that was a well known in the '70s. Well known.
Really?
Movie. Yeah. He was well known for having done that.
Just not a ton of people have watched it on Letterboxd. It's below 30,000 views. I'm not saying a million of you should go out and check it out, but if you like Paul Newman as a performer, I mean, this was one of his best
Yeah,
performances.
he's really good in a few movies. He was really good. Very.
Quite
popular.
frankly, he's good in pretty much everything I've seen.
Yeah, I would agree with that. He was very popular.
So I just watched The Hustler recently. He's very good in that, and that's got a banging cast. Gleason and George C. Scott, the other big
the
names in
original.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
The,
they remade it.
they didn't remake it. They made a sequel to it that Paul Newman's also in, but Tom Cruise is the young kid this time.
Yeah.
That's also good, but Hustler's better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's the only movie I've seen Jackie Gleason in. I know he's a big comedic actor, but he plays the role of Minnesota Fats very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, HUD, super duper good. He is awesome because he's like he's I guess you'd say a flawed protagonist to the point of kind of bordering on not being a protagonist. So just great role for him to fill, and it lets him shine performance-wise. What say you next?
World War Z.
I haven't even watched that yet, so
The thing about World War Z is its constant intrigue and interest, and things are going on. You know, I just kind of recognized that about the movie. You know, because a lot of movies there'll be a lull period where maybe they're just setting up for what's going to come in the future, but it's just constant, drama and intrigue and danger, and it's really cool though. I really, really like that movie. It's very good.
I think this might get some comments because it has been seen a lot, but it's only rated a 3.2 on average.
Well, they're making a sequel or have made it, but that is weird because they made the original 12 years. What year is the movie?
2013, so yeah, 12 years ago.
So it's well, obviously it's the most believable zombie movie because they're not supernatural, or they're not,
Wait, is it a virus?
Yeah.
Well, 28 days later.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's whatever. But it's a good one anyway.
Yeah, well, and I know it's hard to talk about this film without mentioning this. I think the reason it's as lowly rated as it is because I don't know how many people, but I think a lot of people read the book before. And,
and it's different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
But
I mean, it really only share a concept about zombieism, and that's really it.
I might like it just because I haven't read the book yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could do the book as it was. It was just anthologies. It was just different throughout the world, different things that happened with.
I think if you like not reintegrate, but you rework it so like, yes, it's anthological, but there's either a similar, common thread.
It would have been way harder to write, but as they did write it, and like I said, completely different than the book. It was a very good story, very compelling. Yeah,
and is the horror of the zombie communicated well in the book? Because I think that's the one, at least with World War Z, almost like the ant-like swarming and cooperation is something like that's like the biggest thing that I think can be said on like first glance.
That only happens in like when they're in Israel with it, and there's not really cooperation. It's just they're ant-like, and that they attack a wall.
Yeah.
And they start climbing on each other to the point where like they don't care about whom they're climbing on.
Yeah.
And they're working together. It's just it happens spontaneously because they're driven by noise, not just noise, but that attracts them.
Yeah.
And so they are able to scale a very high wall just by, and that the director said that, right? He used ants as a
I would believe it. Yeah.
That's what.
That's pretty cool. I'll check that out at some point, maybe in the next 5 years. Movie. This is France en français. Horror. It's called Mads. Came out in 2024. It is super cool. It's kind of like Talk to Me, with the hand thing.
Yeah.
Where it mixes like a zombie apocalypse, but with drugs. So this guy takes a substance and then like shit starts to just go off the rails, and you're experiencing this from the perspectives of these people, and it fucks with your head because you're like, did they get a bad batch of something, or is something actually serious happening here that's being spread via blood? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's super cool. Really tight script, has a lot of momentum. It's not even 90 minutes, so it keeps that pace going once it starts.
Right. Well, World War Z same way.
Right.
I mean, from the get-go.
Yeah. A decent amount of people have seen this, especially considering it is, again, foreign and only came out last year. And it's not too terribly rated. I just think it's slightly better than the 3.5 rating that it currently sits at. So I'll throw it back to you, DadMan. Let's hear what's going on.
Traffic.
You do like that. That has Javier Bardem. People have said that it's been on some lists that I've actually seen. Which made
That's not Javier's not in that.
Oh, yes.
Benicio del Toro.
I get those two mixed up for some reason.
Typical, right? Yeah. They all look alike, right?
So it's got decent views. It's got decent rating. You must think it is very, very good.
Yeah.
You think it's one of the tops?
That's really good. I mean, this guy becomes like the drug czar, for the country. Mm-hmm. His own daughter ends up
becoming addicted to drugs.
To crack. But it's multifaceted. There's many things going on. That's going on. They have Benicio del Toro in Mexico in his very difficult task in order to try to control drugs, because everybody's on the take.
In Mexico, they don't play.
Well, the military was like profiting from it.
Yeah.
And then there is a cartel leader who gets arrested, and they have him in custody, and they have an informant, and so what he's going through, and basically it's his wife, which is
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes, she's the wife, and so it's really she's one of the stars. But what she's going through as, she doesn't have any money anymore. They froze all their assets. And so they're trying to get rid of the informant, the cartel, and what they go through. It's really cool. A lot of good action and so forth. And
Eric Foreman's in it.
yeah. He's the kind of boyfriend of the daughter of.
Makes sense. And Michael Douglas.
Yeah. And he's very good in it.
I added it to my watch list. I might watch that tonight. Steven Soderbergh. He did Ocean's 11, your favorite movie.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I remember missing that many times.
He also did Contagion,
Which I love.
which predicted the pandemic,
Which it did.
which was weird that he did that.
There was like music in Contagion that built suspense. It's really good.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
Certain actors. So he does Traffic and he does Contagion. So I love him as a director because he builds suspense and drama really well.
And Ocean's 11.
Well, I didn't see that, so that doesn't count.
Ocean's 12.
It did not.
Aaron Brockovich. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
He did do a movie called Unsane, which we watched together, and I was like, the ending really,
No.
didn't like the ending. But I do like Contagion. And Ocean's 11 is good. Ocean's 12, I'm not sure if I ever saw. Movie I watched, black and white, Japanese. Your two favorite words.
2 strikes, baby.
Toshio Matsumoto, Demons, 1971, only seen by 17,000 people. This is gory, it's revenge, it's dark, it's twisted. The Japanese almost always nail, at least the popular ones, anyone who makes it to Western culture. Great cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my sales point. It's just a fucking badass movie.
Okay. It's not supernatural.
Yep.
Demon in a metaphorical sense.
Yeah. I'm misremembering. There might have been something illustrated as paranormal, but it was more or less just through the psyche of, it's like the guilt of doing something made him think that something supernatural was happening that really wasn't.
Right.
Throwing it back to you, big dog.
Zodiac.
I mean, that one's amazing. I think it gets proper praise, though.
Some of these probably do.
It's 2.1 million seen, 4.0 rating. We can talk about how good it is, but then you got to hit me with another one.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully
many people sing it, so.
You're like, my next one is The Godfather. Citizen Kane.
Some people haven't seen it or haven't heard of it.
We got to give it
as it turned out, so Zodiac really made it seem like they found Zodiac.
That Netflix?
No, not the Netflix one. The Netflix one, I think
movie,
I think that is the guy. But they did. Is that the same guy? The guy they have?
But I'm not sure. Because I think both of them were teachers. Did you see the Netflix one? I didn't.
No,
I didn't end up. Oh shit. Okay. Well, comment down below if you.
Now you know what? I started to watch the beginning of it, so I didn't watch that lot. But I do think he was a teacher.
Yeah.
And a lot of a neighbor would let their kids hang out with him all the fucking time.
Well, because I think that not physically, it was a type of physical abuse, but one of the daughters, which is also what the main suspect in the Zodiac gets fired for, is because they think he's a P. Diddy, a diddler.
Oh, okay.
So it does sound like it's the same guy.
But I thought they DNA'd that guy and he had eliminated him.
A lot about it just seemed really fucking stupid. They couldn't tie the handwriting to him.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, it couldn't be his left hand. Because that was something, they're like, well, what if it's not his right hand? You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
But also, I think that guy's ambidextrous, so I don't fucking know. I think his name is Arthur Lee Allen. I don't remember if that's the name of the guy for the Netflix, but
I think it is.
really,
Yeah.
then okay, it's very well possible that they got it right, which I would hope so. But I mean, there's just like a ton of shit because it's like, what if he never wrote them? I mean, there's only 2 or 3 that it's like it had to be him because he either knew something that wasn't public information or sent like crime scene shit.
Yeah. To the cops.
Right. But I think they were getting mixed up where they're like, well, we have all these writings and the handwriting looks similar to these, but it's not matching, and it just got them thrown off the scent, so to speak. But to the movie, that was something that I think even David Fincher kind of was bummed about. Also, just a side note, they are talking about doing 2 Mindhunter movies, David Fincher, for Netflix with the cast.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully that comes out sooner than later.
Yeah.
So I think everyone's. And it'll just kind of get to the point where it's like, okay, here's a big, I mean, you got to do BTK, so that'll probably be the second or the last of however many, because that ends in 2000, or like the 90s. Like he gets caught decades after.
BTK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's certainly big cases that happened in the later 70s and then you got the 80s and 90s to work with too. So
Right. Yeah.
I don't fucking know. One was
They tease BTK throughout though.
I know he's like Thanos.
Yeah.
For the series.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to watch that. But yeah, Zodiac is fucking sick. It is genuinely thrilling. Like, Silence of the Lambs procedurally is really cool, and character study wise is obviously cooler because you actually get to talk directly to the killer. But thrill wise, Zodiac is more thrilling for me. I know, the night vision goggles scene is probably really thrilling, but
No, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I really liked Zodiac. I really did. I'm not, Silence of the Lambs was good. I'm not as big a fan as many people are on that. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. No, they did a Silence of the Lambs too, and that was awful. And then
wait, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Well, it wasn't called
Jodie Foster wasn't in it.
It was just called Hannibal, right?
Well, Hannibal was another one.
It was called Silence of the Lambs.
Well, I don't know if it was called that. That's basically what it was.
Because Hannibal is done by Ridley Scott. I thought that one was not good.
I can't even remember.
Wait. And then there's Red Dragon, but that's a prequel, right?
Wait, I don't remember Hannibal.
Yeah, that's the sequel. He successfully eluded the authorities for years. He's living in Italy, disguised as an art scholar.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, but what's her name wasn't in it?
No. Julianne Moore's in it. Gary Oldman's in it. Yeah, that one I only gave a 3 out of 5, and it probably could have been lower.
So it's called Hannibal. Okay.
Hit me with your next shot.
Well, Black Hawk Down.
I have to
Every list I have has that on it.
I think
Does anybody know that I like that movie?
this might be another scenario where it's
I think where it's
properly rated.
Okay.
It's been seen by 353 or rated by 353,000, and it's rated a 3.7 on average.
Yeah, nobody saw it. I know. I don't understand what happened.
Well, it could be a million,
Oh, I'm kidding. The war action, in my opinion, and I've never been in combat, so.
It was pretty bad, right?
No, very, very good. Very, very good.
All right, mine Antichrist.
With what's his face? Defoe?
Yep, Willem Dafoe. Lars von Trier directs.
Sounds like it's just really dark.
Yes.
Very, very dark.
So I can see why it's not rated as highly as some films, and that's my point of contention. Is I think it should be rated higher, but I think it's very artistically sound, thematically sound. It's for the avant-garde type.
Oh, which you're part of.
Well, I'm not. I do like art house or more artsy fartsy movies, but it's like Tarkovsky. It's an ode to Tarkovsky. It's even said so at the end, and it elicits that. And no one has really been able to do that since Tarkovsky. So, for someone to even do that, and like the deeper symbology or analogies that it's trying to communicate with the movie is like really cool when you kind of try to look into it and figure out what's trying to be said. So,
Okay.
It's a thinking man's movie, so it's not gonna elicit like super high ratings from mainstream, but maybe
But
that's...
for you, elite movie viewers,
Well, I just watched it and I was like you said, I was like, this was fucking bleak.
Yeah.
Like, I want to understand it.
Well, yeah. do like movies like that where it just seems like there's like there's symbols or they're trying to allude to something other than
And like it didn't feel as though it was being purposefully opaque. And you could argue the opposite of that, quite frankly. But I thought it gave you enough information there to where you could theorize something, and then you look a little bit more into it, and you're like, oh shit, so people think he's trying to say this, and there's a ton of evidence to back it up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's movies that just feel too obscure to where it's like, you really didn't give enough information for me to get to that point.
Right.
It is about like the evil, like that. It's almost like a witch trial thing. It's a lot of it's based on her college thesis that women are the source of evil in the world, like stemming back to Eve.
Yeah,
and that was they were trying to get rid of that through the witch trials and stuff, and there's certain literary references, like the fox is supposed to be indicative of something, and the other animals that are included in the film. And I just thought it was pretty cool. Very different, but I think because it attracted more mainstream eyes, the rating doesn't quite reflect what it should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't that type of movie where you're going to have a lot of people see it.
Yeah, but you watched it, but I don't know if you liked it.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it. Well, I think I got mixed up. You watched Melancholia.
That was cool. That was a cool movie.
Well, just like,
I mean, even though it parts of it were just like meaningless and didn't make sense at all, you just were so drawn in.
Right.
So maybe I would like.
So it's a part of, it's like an unofficial trilogy. It's called the Depression Trilogy, and Melancholia's in it, and so is Antichrist.
Okay. All right.
So thematically, they're going to be similar, like vibe-wise, they're similar. Mm-hmm. So if you did like Melancholia, I think you'd like Antichrist. Just throwing that out there.
I got this on here. You ever hear of Blood Diamond?
Yeah, doesn't that have Leo in it?
Yeah, Leo's in it.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Pretty interesting. Kind of cool. I mean, some movies aren't about, a lot of movies it's like, oh, this couple from L.A., witnesses a murder.
They buy a house.
Yeah. But,
with a pool.
It's just in, Rhodesia, actually. And it's about the,
Never been there.
Blood Diamond conflict. It's not called that. I can't remember the name, actually. It used to be Rhodesia. They changed the name. They did that to several
African
Yeah.
villages so that we
Well,
could
they're actually
forget.
countries.
Oh, country. What the fuck? Can't change the name of a country.
Yeah.
So a lot of yours, and I'm sorry for doing this earlier,
It was really well received.
because it's to you. It's like I forgot this movie and wasn't properly, like I should have remembered it. It was this good. Once I remembered, I watched it. So it's more personal. Sierra Leone, is that the country you're thinking about?
No, Zimbabwe.
Did that used to go by a different name?
What? Sierra Leone?
No, Zimbabwe.
Yeah, it was Rhodesia.
Really?
Yeah,
Like, was that like in the 90s?
in the 80s.
Holy shit. No, okay, so I'm about to say something
Really dumb.
really controversial.
Maybe we don't. That's not.
But how bad does your continent have to be where countries are being renamed?
Well, okay, so apparently, I don't know who they
I
got
know it
their
happened in
independence
Europe.
from.
I know it happened in Europe too. I don't live in Europe. Go ahead, sorry. You're going to make a counterpoint.
Because they were named after colonizers.
And they wanted to establish their own identity.
Right. So
Okay.
Zimbabwe is an African name, and Rhodesia was named after Cecil Rhodes. You know, because it was
That
a
makes sense
British
because,
colony.
well, Rhodesia does sound African.
Yeah.
Which is that you guys
Confident.
you held your breath. You also, I was going to say something really racist. I thought about it. It would have been really funny, but we can't do that.
Yeah, can't be funny anymore. Someone
know.
will get offended.
It would have been the funniest joke you've ever heard, too.
Well, I doubt that.
It would have made you think, you know what? Racism is okay if it's that funny.
If it's really funny, it's fine. Otherwise, it's a hate crime.
Yeah, exactly. Just slight tangent, but the director who made Blood Diamond made The Last Samurai, and I watched that recently, and I liked it a lot. So,
With Tom Cruise.
yeah,
Well, at the time, they called them conflict diamonds. So that made it real. Everybody was like, "Don't buy conflict diamonds," because they were selling diamonds to finance civil wars in Africa. So that's why it's called blood diamond or conflict diamonds.
I thought
'Cause a lot
conflict
of diamonds
diamonds
come
were
from Africa.
because like cleavage is a word with like the cuts of diamonds and other precious stones. I thought conflict was like,
Type of diamond.
yeah, like it looked really good.
Oh, that's not right at all.
Blood diamond, I also thought, because you ever hear of chocolate diamonds?
Yeah, those are just industrial diamonds.
What is it? Does that mean they're fake?
No, they're diamonds. It's just they're a much lower quality. So what they did is they just remarketed or
This is
packaged
chocolate.
it. Yeah, they're chocolate diamonds.
This one
They're not
tastes
cheap
good.
diamonds. Now they grow them in labs, so
Well, I thought blood diamonds were just a type of diamond for a while too.
Well, I mean, you could have wouldn't call it that, but
I mean, I was in like elementary school or whatever. Right. Wasn't buying a lot of fine jewelry back then. But
I want a blood diamond.
sounds interesting, though, the movie does, for sure. And anything with Leonardo, especially during that time period, it's probably worth giving it.
Yeah.
Just look-see. Next movie, this is another weird one, but one that you could watch or at least sit through because it is in English.
Ooh.
But it's English, because Mick Jagger's in it.
Okay.
And he talks a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I can't.
I've heard him. I've heard it.
I've heard him sing, but have you ever heard him talk?
Yeah, he's.
He's
That's interesting because that kind of plays in my next two choices.
wow. Okay, that makes me.
Well, what movie was it?
It's called Performance by Nicholas Roeg and Donald Cammell. Nicholas Roeg is a really popular director, especially with more artsy type of consumers, because his visual style is really distinct. His writing is also like pretty. He likes to do weird shit, and it's just really cool. And it's talks kind of about performance in the fact that it's like there's a mobster, and then there's Mick Jagger, who's like an art person. Like, I don't know if he does music, but also just because he's so into music, he also likes to paint and shit like that. But he just kind of has like a flat where it's just like his creativity zone.
Mm-hmm.
This guy ends up going there because he has to hide out from the mob. But it talks about how there are similarities between the two, because in being like a tough guy or a leg breaker, you have to perform. It's about everyday facade that you put on depending on who you are societally. Mm-hmm. It explores that really cool, and that there's a lot of similarities between these two types of people.
Okay.
And no, I didn't sell you on it. I thought it was really good.
You gave it a real shot, though.
And
it's a thought that counts.
I think it's a little underrated, but also underseen. So I would recommend checking that out.
These two I'll put together. One I like better than the other, but a lot of people like the second one equally, sometimes maybe a little bit more. And the reason it ties into what you were talking about, it's Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
came
yeah.
out pretty, because the one guy, I swear, like his fat friend,
mm-hmm.
I couldn't understand him. And in Hot Fuzz, like a little bit I could understand him in Shaun of the Dead. A little bit. Mm-hmm. In Hot Fuzz, I couldn't understand him at all.
And so
I'm like, this is probably funny, but I don't understand what the fuck he's saying.
But you still enjoy the movies.
Well, Shaun of the Dead is good.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
One of the best comedy horrors of all time.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz, I haven't seen yet. I do need to give that a try. But yeah,
Well, I always considered like Shaun of the Dead was the one, and it's like, oh, we'll make another one too, same mm-hmm. two guys. But a lot of people really, really liked it. They have it on like, top 10 lists for comedies or something. And I'm like, well, maybe I should watch it. And it's like, although I won't understand what he's saying at all. I mean, the King's English, but wow, it's hard to understand.
Yeah, I think those are both Edgar Wright movies, I believe. I think I'm just going to double check that. So, like, this, I watch so many foreign movies that I just keep closed captioning on at all times.
Yeah.
Which could prove beneficial. Yeah,
although he talks fast, though, too. He talks really fast.
Will you ever meet Hispanic people?
No, never. Why?
They speak fast.
Okay. I didn't know that was a genetic trait. People from Hispania.
Okay. My next one is by a famous spaghetti western director by the name of Sergio Corbucci. And it is not the one you're thinking of. It's not Django, which has international acclaim, and it's one of the most well-known spaghetti westerns. I mean, you got the Dollars trilogy, which everyone knows about. And then like the last hanger on is like, oh, there's also Django. There's like, The Great Silence it deserves to be said within the same breath as those four movies. It's that good. And fucking dark ending, super violent, really good protagonist, but classic antagonist with Klaus Kinski, who's a Gary.
Right. I went for things that were slightly underappreciated. You went for things that no one's ever seen before. Was that the criteria that you used? Unknown films by living people?
Well, you can't argue that they're not underappreciated. And I think they're great.
No, you're very. I mean, yours are way more. Mine are pretty.
Can you just praise me?
No. I can, but I won't. Okay.
My bad I didn't put The Departed on my list. No one's seen this. How much did it make at the box office?
Film.
It made $1 billion, but it should have made $2
billion. United 93.
I haven't seen. I don't even know about that one.
It's one of the flights that on 9/11.
Oh man, never forget.
So the whole thing was about just the flight. Well, 90% of it was just the whole flight. And, the tension and so forth of them, being hijacked and, we're going to do something and, they eventually do it. The ending's really cool. But like the tension in the airport is really, really interesting too, Did I say what?
The surprise ending?
In this version, they go to the Bahamas.
Oh, boy.
No, but they show, and it was, I don't know, it was just really well done with it. The ending, you're in the cockpit of the plane, and you're just watching the ground come at you at very high speed. And then, fade to black.
That's what it would have been. It would have been scary as shit.
Because they overtook the hijackers, but they couldn't.
They didn't know how to fly the plane.
Well, the hijackers still, wouldn't get out of it.
Oh, okay.
And it was headed down, and I don't think any of them knew how to fly a plane.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. I feel like if I talk about that more, I'm going to make more jokes.
That are inappropriate?
They're inappropriate, yeah.
So
there isn't a lot of great... I mean, there's Zero Dark 30, which is semi-related to 9/11.
Yeah. Well,
there's not a ton of great 9/11 movies. So.
That one is good. It for real is good. You feel the tension of being on a hijacked airline.
I
communicates it very well.
I watched one. This is actually semi-famous because it's it's in list that's what the fuck twists.
Yeah.
Not Sixth Sense.
Right.
But why did they do that?
Yeah.
And it's called Remember Me. Spoiler alert. Robert Pattinson in it. It's a romance. Whatever. Pierce Brosnan's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize that where the dad works. And he's like, oh, I'll meet you at your office. And the dad he ends up picking up the daughter, so he doesn't meet him at the office first thing in the morning. And Pattinson ends up being in one of the towers on the morning of 9/11.
Oh.
But it's it's a romance.
Yeah.
And it just kind of throws that in there. And everyone was like, what the fuck? And it was I appreciated it. Not the actual event. I was not a fan of 9/11. But in the movie, I was like, well, that was unexpected.
I didn't see that coming.
So I guess that counts too. It was decent. But it wasn't about 9/11. So maybe, I don't know. This one I always talk about, but not a lot of people have seen it. If you're in the know, you know how good it is. It's called Tokyo Fist, Shinya Sakamoto. It's just the special effects in the frenetic editing of this is super fucking cool. This guy kind of gets emasculated by a boxer dude, so he tries to learn how to box. And the actual action that they show, it's not oh man, this is the best choreographed boxing ever. Mm-hmm. It's just how Rocky's kind of over the top where they'll get hit and you'll see spit fly.
Yeah.
With this, it's they'll get punched and they will have something that just shoots blood out of their forehead. And I don't know why. I love it. The visuals are insane with that movie. So check it out if you don't mind Japanese films.
Butterfly Effect.
That one I think is a great argument to be totally underrated by the population at large. I think it's Ashton Kutcher's best movie. I think a lot of the people had the one brother character of the girl, such a fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Big time
dickhead. The real fat guy who actually is pretty skinny now. Good actor.
Yeah.
Really well thought out. One of the best. It's kind of crazy that no one had done it.
Yeah.
Like that until then.
Very cool. Interesting.
And it's he's having seizures. It's is it real?
You could, yeah. You could say that.
certainly seems real, but it's a tough nut to crack. I also think it's like literally soul crushing. Because do you remember when they're like in a frat, in a sorority, and it's like, this is the good life?
Yeah.
When they end up, like, because the kid ends up taking the rap for it, the dickhead brother, because he's a fucking asshole. But in so doing so, she moves and they get to stay together, and then like they have this perfect life, and the brother comes back and completely fucks it up. And like that moment, I remember watching it back in the day, and I was like, oh my fucking God, that hurt.
Knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Because so the kids separated, right? Based on something.
The brother and sister.
Right. The brother stayed.
Well, because he like went to juvie or something, you know what I mean? I thought.
Maybe. I thought they just separated the kids, and the mother took the daughter.
Yeah, maybe.
And the son took them.
And so he got the brunt of the abuse, and that's why he turned out into like a complete dickhead. And the ending is fucking pretty awesome.
Yeah, when they keep kind of looking over their shoulder and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were never meant to be together. Something bad happens when they're together.
Yeah. Which is like, it's like the idea of fate, but it's like anti-fate kind of.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really good conclusion. I like it. This one, you would be interested in it if it weren't Hungarian. But it hasn't been seen by a lot of people, and hell, it is hard as fuck to find online or anywhere, really. It's called The Fifth Seal. There's a group of friends in a bar in Hungary whilst it is under fascist, actually, occupation. Because apparently, because I was looking into it after the fact, I was like, is there any little tidbits I missed? I think Hungary helped out the Nazi regime during World War II. And that plays a huge factor into the theme of the movie. So they ask, would you rather be a ruler who believes, like, that does objectively evil things but believes what they're doing is not evil?
Wrong.
Or someone who suffers but gets to live with a completely clean conscience? And everyone, you're like, well, I would rather be the person who lives instead of the slave who gets, utterly fucked up every single day. And at the end, they get captured because word gets out that they were one of the people who said, well, I would be the slave. They are all like, you're full of shit.
Right.
As I would say, too. So he rats on these guys and said they were talking shit about you guys. Yeah. They capture and beat the ever-loving fuck out of them. And, they're making statements kind of about how authoritarianism works within that and the torture and everything. But at the end, they say, look, there's this guy's a communist sympathizer. We have been torturing him. He's about to die. If you slap him twice, we'll let you go. And all four men who were asked the question or posed the question now have to determine whether they would actually do something that's very similar.
Right.
Die guilt-free or live with the shame of having committing a horrible act to live. So I love like geopolitical films like that.
I could see that being good.
It was pretty well done. I thought it was great, and like it's not very well known and definitely not seen a lot.
There's one here called Sleepers. Talk about sleepers. That's you probably never heard of it.
Sleepers. I saw a movie. I have not seen this movie though.
It
pretty highly rated. Kevin Bacon's in it. Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman. What a cast! Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Holy,
hard to believe, huh?
Holy guacamole!
Yeah. Talk about a crazy cast.
Talk about a hole in one. That's a Happy Gilmore reference.
Yeah.
Minnie Driver, you know what she's in? Good Will Hunting. I
Yes.
thought I recognized her.
I love Minnie. I really liked her. I don't know. She just like disappeared. Oh, it's weird. I was thinking about her today for some reason. Maybe because I was thinking about this film.
She's good friends with Minnie Mouse, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, Minnie Mouse.
Married to Mickey.
Underappreciated.
She
Yeah.
took the last name too, which
Yeah,
she
lot of
came from a
mouses
big
don't do
family.
that anymore. Mices.
Have you seen that movie, or did you just see?
Sleepers?
Yeah.
No, I've seen it. Of course.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Is it underappreciated?
Well, considering the cast,
Yeah,
it really
true.
is. No,
Four
it's
friends
cool.
have made a mistake that will change their lives forever.
They go to reform school and they are treated badly.
What is it? Bacon and
Bacon's a
Pitt?
hard.
Oh,
Pitt is one of
Pitt,
the
one of
four.
the
There's
kids?
four of them.
four friends.
Right. He's one of the four. And they're treated very badly, and then it's reform school. And then they do get out, and there's some retribution dealt
I like that.
out.
Delta Squad.
Right.
I'll check that out for sure. Alrighty. This is fucking very obscure, art housey. It's called The Hypothesis of the Stolen Painting. Okay? It's a pseudo documentary where there's a narrator and then there is an art collector who's talking about this guy's art and how every piece is interconnected to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to put it all together because he thinks there was a piece of his art that was stolen so that people aren't aware of, that is able to complete the meaning of it. And it's really just commentary about
Stupid art.
people's want for meaning in movies and art and literature. And
How did I have like more than you?
you did two sometimes, and I only did one.
How many do you have left?
One.
Alright.
How many you got left?
One.
Cool. See,
Mine
I'm
is-
good at this. I'm good with numbers.
Snatch. You ever see Snatch?
I've not
Guy
seen
Ritchie?
that. Brad Pitt is also in that.
He has this accent in this fucking movie. He plays the best character in this movie. He plays, they're called travelers. They're like gypsies.
I've heard of gypsies. Never heard of someone called traveler.
In England, they call them travelers. Or Roma.
Politically correct.
Yeah. But it is a really good movie. It's about a diamond, and just all this stuff happens with people trying to get the diamond. It's very funny. Very good movie.
Well, Guy Ritchie is a pretty dang good director, that's for sure.
You know who you used to be married to or hang around with?
Jennifer Aniston?
Who? Madonna.
Oh, yikes.
Well, she was pretty good at one time.
Well, true. The only movie that I actually have seen by him, I wasn't like blown away. It was called The Covenant. It was all right, but other people. Well, I also saw Sherlock Holmes. I haven't rated it though because I saw that as a kid. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is Guy Ritchie. Someone put that in their top 10 list
Oh, yeah, that's
when
right.
we did that, so that's one that you got to check out. DadMan is going to check that one out, guys.
Yep.
DadMan said he'll check it out. And my final piece, it's contemporary art, postmodern. No, it's not. It is called Twilight, not the one that everyone has
About
heard
the
of.
vampire.
Not the one with Robert Pattinson and the
Which team were you? There was two teams, a vampire team,
I was-
and a werewolf team.
Well, I was a Frankenstein guy.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the movie. Sorry.
Well, what does Kirsten Stewart play then?
I don't know. Is she in it?
She wasn't made in a laboratory?
No.
Her parents are really wealthy. Did you know that? Ultra wealthy.
I think I did read that.
All right. Twilight is a meta commentary on neo-noirs. It's similar to Zodiac in that there's no catharsis because that is the critique within the genre that it's pushing or trying to comment on.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Twilight by Georgi Fuhrer. And less than 7,000 people have watched it on Letterboxd.
Well, that's underappreciated, I'd say that.
Yeah.
No, it's probably really good. It just,
I think it's Hungarian.
I think maybe the way you explained it wasn't great.
Oh, you really didn't like it?
No, it's just, it's really...
So there's a guy, he kills a girl. This guy's like, he's right about to retire, but he can't give up on it. And they go to great... trying to find this guy. So even though he's like basically retired, he like...
From what?
Oh, shit. Sorry, I got carried away. No, he's a detective.
Okay.
So he retires, but he's still investigating this case. And then he gets brought back on because they can't find him. And he's doing things like, I think he bought this house and like basically put one of his family members in harm's way to try to catch the guy. But it's like the great lengths that we go to looking for a resolution when that's not...
It might be better not.
I mean, how many fucking cold cases are there?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I read... So I watched something about missing people, like a show or whatever. And the number of people that go missing a year is just outrageous.
A lot of people go missing in the Finger Lakes. A lot of people. Someone has the Finger Lakes tattooed on their back, and apparently there's a big conspiracy about
that person.
The Finger Lakes in general being like a
dumping ground.
Yeah, well, or like a stealing ground.
Oh,
it's like
get kidnapped from there.
Yeah, for whatever. But I mean, I guess it really is true. A lot of people go missing there.
Well, just in general, a lot of people go missing in America.
Here's the deal, like, because yes, is my instinct to make fun of them, totally.
All 100,000, couple 100,000
adults.
Okay, well,
but if I was out,
get lost, you know.
First of all, if I was out in the wilderness without a phone, I would totally get lost. And second off,
I'm not talking about that. People like you were like abducted.
If I was driving in a city I had not been to, like not my home city,
yeah,
I would be lost too. And then
they don't mean that. Not like they don't have directions to the party they're going to. We're lost. Oh, we're going to add you to the list of the missing. If you get found, let us know. We'll take you off the list.
Well, if you take too many wrong turns, man, like when are you?
Okay, well, you know.
How are you going to get back home? No, I
GPS.
Know no, what if your phone dies?
Maybe you could ask somebody.
You can't
like
trust
person?
You know what words I live by?
Don't trust anybody?
Yeah, DTA.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin said that. But yeah, 100,000 people's a lot. 200
to 300.
Most of them are probably hiking accidents.
No, they're not.
How else would they go missing?
I don't know, get lost.
So you're just reiterating what I'm saying, but this time it's not stupid, apparently.
No, that is not what they mean. They don't go missing hiking.
How else do you go missing?
You're abducted.
Adult?
Or child, yeah.
Well, look, how many adults? I mean, no offense to children, but...
Well,
do you remember when they
thought about them?
You remember? Well, I mean, well, that makes sense though. You get snatched. That would be a good sequel to Snatch. Everyone's trying to.
Holy shit! 600,000.
Just total people. A year.
Reported missing in the U.S. each year. Well, many are found quickly. Okay, significant number remain missing. Around 6,000 stay missing long term. Of those reported missing, approximately 60,000 are. Okay, where did I get my numbers from?
So wait, what's the number that are actually missing for like?
Nobody knows.
Is it less?
6,000. I thought it was like 200,000. I swear to God, I looked that up, and that's what it said.
But so maybe that is like, hey, they were supposed to be home an hour ago. Hey, sorry.
Well, yeah, but they okay, but the 6,000 are never found.
I am the 600,000.
Yeah, because you go missing all the time.
I mean, if I stray too far away from home, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you're included in that, but
What if I self-report?
I'm lost. I'm missing.
I'm missing from my
list
home.
or something.
This was a really interesting list. I know I gave you some shit on some of your inclusions, but there are personal choices. I was very glad though that your whole list wasn't like Departed,
Blockbuster. I had the
Jaws,
the town on there too. I'm like, I'm not gonna say that. Let's see. Yeah, what did I put the Departed? I don't know. I think I just like that movie. As well.
Avengers, pretty good.
Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah, but you included some like ones I haven't seen, and I like. Here's the thing: I have not seen a lot more of like
Regular
those
movies.
mid-tier,
Normal movies.
those mid-tier English movies. Like if I wasn't alive during it,
Yeah.
I haven't made it back there yet.
Correct. Circle back.
Cause it's like it's not what's the word? I want to say attractive enough. The sales pitch for me sometimes is like, oh, like someone said this is like really like off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Weird foreign movie.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, well, I probably would have liked a regular movie over this one. But sometimes I'm like, holy fuck, that was crazy. I wish.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see really new, interesting concepts and stuff. Because you get bored with like, oh my God, another, formula movie.
Yeah. But for sure, like the ones I think I'm most like I added to Sleepers for its cast. I mean, that has to be really good.
It's good.
And it's crime.
It's different.
Snatch was one I had like been wanting to see for a while, and it's just like it's not weird enough, but I'm definitely gonna get to that sooner than later. But I would say
it's satisfying. Jason Statham's in it too.
he's in my dreams. I don't know how much they fucking pay him for that. I think he's in everyone's dreams. But I think Traffic is the one I actually want to watch the most.
That's very good. Very good.
And then Blood Diamond, I'm like, I'm eventually gonna watch it because, I mean, I'm gonna have to do like a video on Leonardo DiCaprio and why he's
In everything.
I think I was gonna say homosexual, but that would be homophobic. He's clearly not. He could be something that begins with the word P though, and that's
He
not.
likes younger, but I don't think that young.
It's not an allegation, but it's an insinuation.
Yeah.
Is that what an insinuation is?
Yeah. So one will get you
5 years, the other one will get you 20. And I have no proof. In fact, I haven't even heard rumors, but I want to see.
He says he likes young women. He said. I mean, I don't think he means like 12-year-olds, but 19.
I don't like to spread rumors, but you guys should
He
probably
said it.
know this.
It's not a rumor.
I don't
tell
like
you to your face.
That's why I said I don't like to spread rumors, but you guys should know this.
Well, I mean, it's legal, so.
Hey Drake, I heard you like them young,
Right.
but it's Leo this time.
Right.
This is my diss track. This is my dissertation. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll catch you on
Thank you.
the flippity flop.
Bye-bye.
Bye.